Hey YouTube, welcome back to The Blueprint. Excited to be here and chat with you guys a little bit about my daily routine for diet. I just wanted to show you guys what my 3 meals look like throughout the day. So yeah, I'm excited to go through my diet routine with you guys. I just want to show you guys what I'm currently eating during my cut. I'll just be doing a reaction video for this first few minutes of the video just to show you guys. I didn't have my audio piece on me, so I wasn't able to record audio during the first part, so I'll just be talking over that video while it's going. But then the second video will just be me in the actual video speaking because I was able to get my audio piece going. Stick around towards the end. I'm excited to just tell you guys what my macros are currently. Obviously, it varies depending on the person, but I'll be explaining my macros for you guys so that way you guys understand what I'm currently intaking every single day. But yeah, so let's jump right into it. All right, so this is my first meal of the day. I'm just trying to optimize my macros the best I can. And so for my first meal of the day, this is what I declare as breakfast. I'm just doing egg whites. I have my own little variation of how I like to make them. It's switched up multiple times because I've been eating eggs for the past 8.5 years. So this is what I'm doing currently. So to start off, I'm using an avocado oil that I go and get from Costco, or my wife goes and gets it. It's basically just no calories. There's no actual fat in it. It's just a good way to add some flavor to your food. So I make sure to caramelize. I just make sure that I'm caramelizing those onions. That was some uncured ham she also got from Costco. I don't usually do this. It's just something she found. It's only 0.5 grams of fat per slice of ham. And they're super low calorie. It's just like basically protein and then like the smallest amount of fat. I'm just getting these cooked with my onions. I'm actually doing 2 because this is my wife's meal on the side. I'm also prepping hers for her as well just because she was hungry and I told her I'd make it for her because I'm a good husband. And so right now, what I'm doing is, I like to call it stripping egg whites. So I'm just getting rid of the yolk. You basically just do this scraping yolk method with the eggshell. Some people use a water bottle to like squeeze and then it's able to just suck the egg yolk out immediately. That's a little more difficult. And then that's some fat-free cottage cheese that I'm throwing on it. It's super low calorie. And the whole point of this is because I'm trying to mitigate the amount of fat that I'm putting into my food as much as possible. And then I just add some cracked black pepper on it just to give it a little more flavor. I don't really like to salt mine just because I already put hot sauce on it at the end. Or I'm going to put hot sauce on it at the end. And so I just try to keep as little as sodium. Plus it just kind of, after eating it for all these years, it's just what I prefer. That was some fat-free milk that we just had in the fridge. So I just decided to throw that in there because it just makes it a little more creamier. And personally, like if you're gonna make egg whites, the best way to make them is by fluffing them up, and the cottage cheese and that milk is gonna make it super fluffy. It's what's gonna make it taste the best, and just texture wise it's gonna feel the best. That's the hot sauce. I'm just throwing it on, and this is the final product right here. You can see mine's on the right. My wife doesn't like hot sauce. Hers is on the, or I guess technically it's my right is my wife's. This is a meal we made. So typically the next video is going to be chicken and rice, but this is a meal that I made that night. My wife and I wanted to do something special. Obviously we got to keep it within the macros, but I went and bought some lean steak and we ended up doing street tacos that night. Corn tortillas basically have, depending on which ones you get, basically have no fat in them. It's pretty much just carbs, and there's no sugars, and it's just onion, cilantro, and then you just season the meat really well. And as you can tell, those are pretty good steaks. I do tri-tip. They're a little more lean than most steaks you're gonna get, and so in total what I ate for the amount of steak I had was actually just 45 grams of fat, which all things considered I had quite a bit of steak, and that's not a lot of fat. I mean, if you look at my macros for the day, that's right around like where I'm supposed to be at, because I think I'm supposed to be consuming about from 40 to 50 grams, depending on my carb intake for that day as well. And then I just calculated the amount of tortillas that I was going to eat and the amount of carbs that are in per tortilla. So that was really cool. We had that for dinner, and this next video is just going to be me explaining my normal chicken and rice method. All right, so for today we got chicken and rice. This is the final meal for the day. This can be broken up into 2 meals as well because it's a lot of food. Sometimes if I'm in a pinch, I'll just eat it all together. In total, it's about 24 ounces of chicken. I do 1 cup of uncooked rice. So basically, I just freeze my chicken breast, and then when I need to
eat them. If you don't want to eat rubbery chicken, the way you cook them is you slow cook. So I like to, I mean, right now it's 5 o'clock, so, I'd probably want to start my dinner, I don't know, a couple hours from now, at least for one of them. And so, I mean, preferably I'd be eating right now already, but we had to get a lot of stuff done today. Yeah, so 2 chicken breasts, we cover it, we put it on low. And so these chicken breasts will just slow cook for the next 2 to 3 hours. They'll be extremely moist and the meat will just pretty much fall apart, which is the way I like it. A lot of people will complain about eating chicken that's just really tough or it's really rubbery, it's just hard to bite through, and it loses a lot of its flavor because of that. But if you slow cook it and then you let it fall apart and then you crank the heat up, and I'll show this later, if you crank the heat up at the last second while seasoning and putting whatever sauce you want on it, it'll make the flavor stick to it a lot better and just marinate that chicken really well. So we got our rice to go with it. It really comes down to preference. I just prefer the taste of jasmine rice over anything. I'm also looking, currently as of right now, I'm still looking for more fast-acting carbs, which is why I prefer white. If you want to do brown rice though, you can. The rice will sit in your stomach and take a little longer to digest, which might actually help with cravings. But the taste of jasmine rice is really good. So we do 1 cup of uncooked rice. And then we've got 1 cup of water to go with that rice. Mix it around a little bit so it's nice and even inside your rice cooker. If you don't have a rice cooker, you just do this with a pot. I did it with a pot for 4 years until I got a rice cooker. Obviously with a rice cooker, it can basically you just hit start for the rice to pressure cook and it'll just do it on its own time. But with a pot, it's pretty much the same thing. You just learn the time of how long it takes to actually cook the rice completely. Take this. Actually, I have to prep for tomorrow, so I'm going to do 2 cups of rice today. But basically every day for me is just 1 cup rice, 2 chicken breasts. There's things you can do to sub out, or you can do different options. If you are looking to change it up and you just don't want to eat chicken and rice every day, you can still have a very lean diet. It's not like it has to be primarily egg whites and chicken and rice. Take this, we'll do 1 more cup. And then, actually almost out of rice. Cooking rice is really simple. It's just for whatever amount you do for rice, you do the same amount for water. So we'll take that up. We want to even that out. Again, so we're just going to stir it up a little bit. Just shake it around. Want to break up any of those rice clumps that you get sometimes. There's like little rice balls in there. The proper way to do it is you wash your rice first. I mean, I don't really care to do that. I've done this. I've been eating rice for 8.5 years now, nonstop. So, I mean, for me, it doesn't really matter too much. But if you want cleaner rice, I guess. Like when you taste it and it doesn't taste all starchy, you can make sure you wash it first. But like I said, I've been doing this for so long, I don't really care anymore. Pressure, start, and then it's done. And then this will get going, and it'll be done probably within, I'd say about 35 minutes, a little over a half an hour. So I'll just let this sit and cook, and pressure cook, and then my 2 chicken breasts will just kind of slow cook until that point's ready. And then I'll obviously season the chicken breasts and sauce it up, as you know. And then I'll just put it all together. Sometimes I'll do, like today, because I have time, I'll probably do 2 separate meals just so I don't have to eat one big meal and it's just a lot. But in between there, last thing on the diet, this is during my cut, is not necessarily Coke Zero, but sugar-free sodas, sugar-free drinks, sugar-free candy, anything that can really, I would say that health-wise, this stuff isn't that great for you, but at least in my personal opinion. But diet-wise, trying to follow your macros, especially during a cut where you're just constantly hungry and depleted of energy, this stuff helps a lot just because the carbonation will kind of fill your stomach a little bit, which is nice. The sweetness of it will fulfill the cravings that you get sometimes. It's not like it's game-changing. It doesn't just auto-fix it completely. You're still going to be hungry, but this stuff definitely helps in between. And I don't drink them all day. It's like maybe one. I might have 1 can a day, if that. So it's just kind of random. Usually on the weekends I do a little more just because it's the weekend and I don't know. I feel like because I don't really drink any caffeine, sometimes when I have these, they like mess with my energy levels. So I don't really drink a lot of these, but on the weekends I don't really care because my schedule is kind of all over the place. So I'll just drink these. But super good if you're in the middle of your cut and you're trying to satiate any of your cravings. It can be really hard to try to resist eating bad or eating too much or overeating, however you want to say it. But this stuff definitely helps just to kind of keep you steady. Last thing I was going to say was I have a ton of different chicken and rice recipes that I'm going to be going over in the future. Today I'm probably going to be doing one of my Asian dishes. I'll probably be doing teriyaki chicken style. I have a recipe where I do my own personal teriyaki chicken. It's all 0 sugar. I have a lot of cool ingredients that I use to be able to make sure that it stays within my macros during my cut, but it still tastes really good. I'll probably go over that in another video where I can just show different chicken recipes and variations of how to make that chicken. But for now, I just want people to get the gist of what it looks like on a day-to-day of what I'm eating, for dinner at least. So for the day during my cut right now, I'm having about 3 square meals. And so it's egg whites, chicken and rice, and then chicken and rice. And then usually I'll have like a low carb snack.
All right, YouTube. So to conclude for the video, I just wanted to lay out all of my macros so that way everybody understands what I'm eating currently on a day-to-day. There's different stuff that I'll go over in the future with other videos explaining like my bulk and my macros for that, because that was a lot different and I did that for 5 years. But for now, because I'm currently in the middle of my cut, trying to get my beach bod back, my bikini bod back, I'm just planning on explaining what my macros are. All right, so since I can't have my phone out, usually I just refer to that whenever I do my macros or calculate them. I just decided to write it down for you guys. So I'm gonna do this as fast as possible for the sake of time. When I originally did my cutting process, and I'll explain this in the future, I was just calculating my macros for my goal weight. As in like, I wanna be 220 or 225 around there with X amount of body fat, X amount of muscle mass. And that's my goal. And so I had to calculate my macros of what that looks like to be at that point. And then I had to calculate the deficit of where I was at currently and how I would be able to get there whilst minimizing the amount of muscle mass that I'd be losing throughout that time. Because as you guys know, you lose muscle when you cut. So what my macros came out to be was I was supposed to be consuming about 2,700 to 3,000 calories a day. My protein intake was about 220 to 260 grams of protein a day. My fat intake was about 40 to 50 grams a day. And then my carbohydrate intake was about 150 to 200 grams a day. So I kind of just started at the highest level and was just like assuming, because I'm already eating about, before that I was eating about over 4,000 calories a day. I just assumed like I was going to start losing weight. And so I started just eating about 2,700 to 3,000 calories a day. And I noticed that I wasn't losing weight. And so the macros that I had calculated for myself weren't actually working for me. This is just because people's body types are different. Some people lose weight really easily, some people don't. Some people lose fat really easily, some people don't. Some people gain muscle really easily, some people don't. I'll go over that in another video in the future. But basically the point that I'm trying to make is that I had to make an adjustment within that realm that it told me to be at, because obviously it's not a perfect calculator. And so what I found after a little bit of research for myself and just experimentation was that about 2,300 calories for me works. About 2,000 to 2,300 calories for me allows me to be able to lose the weight I need to lose within the time period that I'm trying to lose it in. The protein intake that I'm at right now is coming out to about 220 grams of protein to 225, because that's the protein I want to, that's the body weight I want to be at. It's typically 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And then currently my fat intake is coming out to be about 40 to 50 grams a day. Basically the only fat I really get in my day-to-day comes from the chicken breast, which doesn't have a lot, and then maybe that slice of ham I had earlier, which is 0.5 grams of fat. And then maybe if I have like some other carbs, some low calorie carbs, sometimes they carry like a small amount of fat. It typically will even out to roughly about 40, 50 grams a day. And then the carbohydrate intake that I prefer right now that has allowed me to be able to lose weight, but also maintain my fullness and my muscle is about, I try to be about 150 to 170 grams of carbohydrates per day. But yeah, so those are my macros for right now. Obviously they will shrink as time goes on, right? Because the goal ultimately is to be competition weight. I'm not really trying to compete necessarily. Maybe I will, I don't really know at this point, but I just want to show people what it looks like to be that shredded naturally, and to show people what it actually takes to go from, you know, being a lot heavier to that point, or honestly just trying to reach your goal body weight and see what is actually obtainable. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Those are my macros and that's my diet routine. I hope you guys enjoyed. My next video that I'm planning on doing, as far as right now goes, is my fitness routine video. I've been hoping to get that out. It's just taking a while trying to record all my exercises and being diligent on top of that. But I'm excited to go over that with you guys in the next one. Catch you guys then. Thanks, YouTube.